Have you ever noticed that no matter how much more money people make, they often still feel broke? A recent Lending Club report found that 61% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and surprisingly, that includes over 40% of people making six figures. So the question is, why do even high earners struggle financially? And how can you avoid falling into this trap yourself? Stay with me, because in this video we'll break down the hidden reasons why more money doesn't always mean more wealth and what you can do differently. Let's start with the numbers. The median household income in the US is about $74,580, according to the US Census Bureau in 2023. Yet surveys show that more than half of these households still have little or no emergency savings. Even more shocking, 1 in 10 Americans making $250,000 or more a year still live paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because income doesn't automatically equal wealth. Most people confuse making more money with keeping more money. Here's the first trap: lifestyle inflation. Imagine you get a raise at work from $60,000 to $80,000. Instead of saving that extra $20,000, many people upgrade their car, move into a bigger apartment, or start eating out more often. In psychology, this is called the hedonic treadmill. You quickly get used to your new lifestyle, and soon, that extra money doesn't feel like extra at all, it feels like the new normal. For example, at $50,000, you drove a used Honda. At $100,000, you buy a Tesla Model Y, but the Tesla comes with $700 monthly payments, higher insurance, and maintenance costs. Suddenly, your raise is gone. This is why people can double their income and still feel broke. Now let's talk about debt, because this is where many high earners sink. The average US household debt in 2024 is over $104,000. Credit card debt just crossed $1.3 trillion nationwide, with interest rates averaging over 20% APR. Even if you're making $120,000 a year, if you're paying $1,500 a month on credit cards, student loans, or car payments, you're stuck. Think of it this way: a person making $60,000 debt-free is often better off than someone making $120,000 drowning in debt. It's not always about how much you earn, but how you manage what you earn. Most people don't budget. In fact, only 32% of Americans actually track their spending. Many high earners rely on credit cards for everyday expenses, and less than 40% of Americans could cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing. Think about that coworker who earns more than you, but is always stressed about bills. Chances are, they've fallen into this habit loop: spend first, save later. Money is not just math, it's psychology. Here's a fascinating fact. Researchers found that once people earn about $75,090 a year, their happiness levels plateau. More money after that doesn't make you significantly happier, it just changes what you spend on. That's why people chase bigger paychecks but still feel empty financially. They're solving an emotional problem with financial tools. Of course, it's not all personal mistakes. The system itself plays a role. Inflation in the US hit 9.1% in 2022, the highest in 40 years. Housing, food, and healthcare costs have risen faster than wages. In the UK, house prices have grown by 65% since 2010, while wages only grew about 28%. So even if your income goes up, the cost of living often rises faster, making you feel like you're running in place. And then there's social media. A generation ago, you compared yourself to your neighbors. Today, you're comparing yourself to influencers flying private jets on Instagram. This fuels something called status spending, buying things not because you need them, but because you want to appear successful. For example, your friend earns $80,000 and buys a $1,200 iPhone. You earn $50,000 but feel pressure to keep up. Both of you lose. Meet Alex, a software engineer from California. At 27, Alex landed a tech job that paid him $180,000 a year, plus bonuses. Within 2 years, his income was over $220,000. On paper, he should have been set for life, but here's what happened. The moment his paycheck grew, he leased a BMW M5 for $1,200 a month. He moved into a luxury apartment in San Francisco costing $4,000 monthly rent. He upgraded his wardrobe with $300 sneakers and $1,000 suits. He traveled to Europe twice a year, always business class. To his friends, Alex looked successful. But behind the scenes, his credit cards carried $25,000 in balances, his student loans were still hanging over him, and he had less than $5,000 in savings. When the tech company laid off workers during the downturn in 2023, Alex lost his job. Suddenly, he had no emergency fund, massive expenses, and debt payments he couldn't cover. Within 6 months, he had to sell his car, break his lease, and move back in with his parents. Alex's story isn't rare. It's the perfect example of high income without financial discipline. He didn't budget, he didn't invest, and he assumed the money would always keep flowing. Many Americans and Brits live in this exact pattern, just on a smaller scale. Maybe it's not a BMW, it's a new iPhone every year, dinners out 4 times a week, or subscriptions you don't use. The principle is the same. If your spending grows as fast as your income, you'll always feel broke, no matter how much you earn. So, what can you do to break this cycle? First, pay yourself first. Automate savings and investments before spending. Even 10-20 makes a difference. Second, invest. Don't just save. The average savings account earns less than 0.5% interest, but the stock market averages 7-10 yearly returns. Third, avoid lifestyle inflation. Each time your income rises, keep your expenses the same for at least a year. Invest the difference. Fourth, kill high-interest debt fast. There's no point investing at 8% if your credit card charges you 20%. And finally, think long-term. Wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about freedom and options. So here's the truth. Most people stay broke even after earning more because they don't change their habits, mindset, and priorities. Money alone won't make you wealthy. Discipline, investing, and resisting lifestyle creep will. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe you'd be better off with double your current income, or with the same income but zero debt and strong investments? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more finance and AI-driven insights, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it.